Well, Steve, we're checking out a game preview, the Anacrusis.
Jury going live.
Alright, Steve, so we got our hands on a 4-player co-op game, the Anacrusis, and as I said in the intro, this is in game preview, so we won't be scoring this. This is going to be more of a recommend or not recommend. So I gotta say, man, hopping into this one's pretty rough, dude. For a Left 4 Dead style game, we have lackluster gameplay and just minimal content. So without getting too much into it, what were your first impressions with this one?
I love the intro, the cutscene, because I think it's supposed to be set in like the 79s period where you got the afros and the funky music and the psychedelic colours. So you get a little snippet of that, then you start off in the airlock, and the first thing you notice, it says, grab a weapon. There's 3 weapons, and that's about it. So you grab your 3 weapons, so depending if you want a blaster or MSG or a pulse gun or a shotgun, there isn't much choice to start off with, and then you open the airlock, and then I was going to say the fun begins, but then all of a sudden you just hit with psychedelic corridors because you're set in a spaceship or a space station, and all you do get is just hordes of aliens just running towards you. And I just want to say, graphically, it's okay. It's not polished, it's just colourful and simple, basically.
Yeah, man, the graphics aren't that fantastic, and on top of that, I mean, you have some very basic, alien creatures, I think they are. They kind of look like zombies, but they're aliens, I think, in this case.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just see the same few different animations over and over and over again. And unlike games like Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead, where there's like either a timer where the horde sweeps in this case, it's this very linear style maps. There is some exploration. There's all sorts of rooms where you can get more of the same gun and maybe a few upgrades. But it's just, man, this game just doesn't really work, unlike those other games I've played in the past.
Oh, exactly. And when you have the cutscene of the 70s, it would have been nice if there was a bit more of a story of like what you're getting yourself into. But there is absolutely nothing at all. And I did find the maps are quite big as you go through, because basically all you do is leave one airlock and get to the next airlock to go to the next level. So that's all it is, rinse and repeat. And bearing in mind as well, there's only 3 chapters to do. And I probably done all 3 probably within 4 hours, possibly. And the whole game is just lacking personality, and it was very dull, as in all you do is you walk around empty rooms, and like you say, you find stuff, but there's nothing there. And then you just get the aliens just walking around or looking around, you just shoot them, and that's as far as you go. I did like the idea, though, that you do get the pedestals, though, because you do run out of ammo, but you're not actually picking up ammo. You just quickly walk past, and it quickly charges your weapons up, whether it's the pulse gun and things like that, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And you touched on earlier, was about 4 grenades you can get.
Yeah, there's about 4 grenades, 3 different weapons, and there are these upgrade pedestals as well. And with these upgrade pedestals, you're just maybe upgrading a certain weapon type or your pulse charge. Each character has a pulse charge where you just tap down on the left stick and enemies that are around you just get blasted away. It's very simple in animation and it's a very simple feature. So these upgrades aren't very exciting. You don't even really have to look for them because you can just rip through these levels from point A to point B. And I mean, I have to get into some of the problems because I couldn't change my controller sensitivity for my horizontal axis. My vertical I could, so when I reduced that, it just made turning super messed up, and this is something that needs to be addressed, man. I don't want, if I'm shooting enemies constantly and I'm just forced to be in hip fire, that's a problem because aiming is a key feature in this game. So, I don't know, man. And there's 4 different enemy types. When you play games like Left 4 Dead, you have creatures like the Hive, and all these things that you remember, the tanks. But in this game, I mean, you have the Grabber, the Gooper, the Brute. Very simple in name and very simple in nature. I think we need to wrap this one up because, to be fair, this is a not recommend from me, man. There is just too much that the developers still need to work on. 3 chapters is not enough content. These characters are just super boring, dude. So, yeah, not a recommend for me. But what about you, dude?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a not recommend for me. I didn't find any difference in the weapons I was using. Sometimes when you play co-op games and these kind of first-person shooters, you notice a difference in what weapon you use on the impact on the creatures. It didn't do nothing like that. And there is better games out there if you want to play co-op as well. Like, it did remind me a bit like a cheaper version of Serious Sam, where the hordes you just keep blasting away. So, like I said, unfortunately, it's a not recommend. Maybe wait till a few more updates come out and see if they improve and tweak it a little bit better.
Watch out! Behind you!
No. Let's get you up. Down! Watch over me, please. I'm healing. Help! I'm down!
Cover me. I'm healing.
Watch over me, please. I'm healing.